Assalamu alaikum. Yesterday we stopped with how to start a conversation, and we had gone through a list of questions and also a little bit about how you need to compliment sometimes, you need to smile a little, and also not be offensive, right? And basically, we're talking about how we need to communicate with near strangers, not total strangers. Strangers is in when at workplace or at a party where you get to where it would be impolite not to talk. Okay, all right. So yesterday, this is where we were going, using a surrounding as an anchor, is to look for something that both of them, both you and that person can relate to. Yeah, ask for help or advice. I had quite a blast chatting with this guy who heads a PR firm at a Christmas party last month. We had a stimulating conversation which spun off multiple subtopics and lasted for a good 30 or 40 minutes. My opener, I asked him for advice on a goal I'm currently working on. So one best way to ask someone, initiate a conversation is to ask someone for some advice or some help. People love to talk when you ask them for advice. Really, you know, whether they act upon it themselves or not. Uh, th- Generally, everyone, including you and I, we have plenty to tell other people how to go about doing their own business, right? Hey, since you're in PR, I was thinking to get your advice on something. One of my goals is to up my blog traffic from 1 million page views a month to 10 million. How would you advise me to achieve that? Since it's something I'm working on blogging, social is relevant to his space PR, and everyone peruses one blog or another as a consumer these days. I thought, why not kill two birds with a stone and use my business agenda as a socialization tool? Excuse me, my tongue seems to be slipping quite a bit. This one innocent question got us talking about site analytics, content, viral content, what makes viral content, why it's pointless to try and create viral content, some of his past client engagements, blogs he reads, why he reads them, and widely popular content we came across in our space. At the end of the discussion, he thanked me for bringing up the topic because it got his brain spinning. I thought that was nice of him. Thanks, I smiled while thanking him for his thought provoking answers. See, why I had to read this all out to you is because you need to know that being genuine actually works. Instead of faking it, if you really talked about something that interests you, that is of concern to you, it would actually show to the other person. And that person would be compelled to give you a genuine answer rather than once again fake with, you know, maybe a one liner. Yes, so it's better to talk about something that actually matters to you because you too will have something to contribute to it, and the conversation wouldn't die its own sorry death, right? Okay, so why asking for help or advice works? People love to help. Simple, plain and simple. Helping makes them feel important. Helping makes them feel like they're adding value to people's lives. Helping puts them in an advisory role which hones the leader in them. If all of us wish to be leaders, well, there may be a few who love to recede to the background and stay in that dark corner and not come to the limelight at all. But most of the time, we all love to simply help where we can, or at least give advice because it comes for free and it doesn't take any time or effort of yours. I appreciate it when people ask me for advice, even if it's something I do not have expertise on. For example, I have a friend who is an experienced business investor. Sometimes he will ask me for advice on projects he's working on. It could be about logo designs, business investments decisions, or something else altogether. While I may not have 100% experience in everything that he asks, I feel valued when he seeks my point of view. Then I do my best to share my perspective while learning more about this. See, this is one really fine way of talking to people. Everyone loves to talk, but very few listen. So, when you begin a conversation with someone, it is necessary that you come across as someone who could actually listen as well as talk. Okay, nobody wants to converse with just a jabber. You know, Someone who simply talks, and never gives a ear to a word the other person says. So, yes, asking for help or advice is a great way of starting conversation with people. All right. So, some sample scripts to ask for help and advice. Yeah, I'm working on this project and I hope to achieve X. Yeah. What do you think? I've been thinking about something for the past few days and I could use with a new perspective. What are your thoughts? I'd like your advice on dash dash dash. What advice can you give me? I'm currently looking for X resource contact for something I'm working on. Do you know anyone who can be of help? I'm planning to do X and I'm thinking of other option A or option B. Which would you choose? I mean, this is one great blog written by this person. Actually, it tells you things about it tells you about how you can go about making a simple conversation interesting when you are really being very, very anxious about not knowing what to talk, because that's what gets our tongues tied, right? So these are great openers if you want to talk to people. Now now for the last part, share something about yourself. What did you just do recently? New things. Once again, here you have to be inclusive. You shouldn't really live in your own head, because we tend to do that, right? When we get talking about ourselves, we forget there is another person standing in front of us. We keep on going talking about ourselves alone. So try to avoid that. Talk about yourself a little so that it would prompt the other person to talk about himself as well. Okay, here you open this method is the opposite of method 1. Here you open up the conversation by volunteering information about yourself, whereas in method 1 you open the conversation by fishing for information about the other person. This method is useful in situations where the person looks shy or socially awkward. So you need to use this method only when you think that the other person is feeling a little awkward, a little out of place. Okay, someone who is really reserved and shy. So when you volunteer information, that would be a motivation for the other person to talk about himself or herself as well. So sharing about yourself helps to take attention away from him or her and onto you, so he or she can ease into his or her own space. Second, the person hasn't been responsive to your questions or comments. Perhaps he or she is not keen on sharing. So you can initiate the sharing instead. In doing so, you remove yourself from the power position, since the person asking the questions directs the flow of the conversation. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Sharing means subjecting yourself to potential evaluation and judgment. So this is what we fear the most, right? That when I talk, people are going to judge me, people are going to evaluate me, right? What are they going to think about me? So this overthinking about people's perception of you gets you to gets you to become a statue, right? Not talk at all. Anyway, so I guess this should be okay for these points should do well for starting a conversation. Now we'll move on to how to end a conversation. Ending conversations are fairly simple. All you have to do is say goodbye and leave. But doing so should not be offensive in the least. It should not turn out to be rude. Okay, it should not look as if you're running away from the scene. All right, there are times when you do wish to run away from the person who is blabbering at you and you're not in the least interested in what that person has to say. But there are polite ways of doing it, because ultimately you're going to face that person once again at some point. So it's better to keep this bridge strong. All right. So, how do you end a conversation in English? Right. So, okay, don't mind this little part here. This is an advertisement, it's just going to hang on. So, don't worry about it. I tried removing it, it's not going. Anyway, how do you end a conversation? Right? First of all, two keys for ending a conversation in English: smile and make a positive comment. All right? Always be friendly when ending the conversation, so the other person knows you enjoyed the conversation and doesn't think you're ending the conversation because you're annoyed. All right? So show them that you are okay talking to them once again, some other points, at a later point. Okay. And Yes, and show that you enjoy the conversation and not you're not irritated or annoyed by that person. Then make a positive comment. Then say you need to go or give a reason for ending the conversation. So sometimes you know what happens. I believe yeah, all of you have gone through this. You have very you have huge difficulty putting down the phone when the other person wants to really talk non-stop talking, right? So when do you tell them that you really have to go, that you have some other commitment to some work? It's just don't overthink it. State the purpose very very clearly, and not do it in a rush. You could just like ease into it and say, oh yes, it's time for me for a class. Why not catch you later? Something like that, uh, hey, come on, I'll have to hang up now. Can I catch you later? I really want to talk about this. Show them a positive interest in what they were telling you, okay? So that you don't come off as being annoyed or having been irritated by the long talk. Okay, then yeah, make a positive comment, then say you need to go or give a reason for ending the conversation. It's better to give a genuine reason, all right? Never lie. My best advice to anyone listening to me is really honesty is the best policy, and it's not only for your writing workbook, okay? It always works. Always stick to honesty, right? So conversation one, here's an informal conversation example for you. Hey, it was nice talking to you, but I've got to run. Okay, no problem. Have a good one. You too. Bye. I've got to run is an informal expression to say I need to go. So you're not really going to run out there. You simply mean to say that you have to go somewhere. You have got another commitment. All right. Conversation two. Well, I'd love to keep chatting, but I have to head out. My yoga class starts in an hour. Oh, enjoy your class. Thanks. See you later. Now, again, head out like gotta run would mean I need to leave or go. Conversation 3. Thanks for the book recommendations. I'll definitely have to check them out. Anyway, I actually need to go pick up my kids from school. Alright, take care. So, you could simply say that I need to go out and pick up something kids, shopping, whatever. Alright? Notice how all three conversations use a transitional word like hey, well, anyway to introduce the end of conversation. They are using, easing into the topic of leaving. They're not simply saying, I need to go. Anyway, I actually need to go. Or here, um, but I have to head out. Yeah, look at this. Where's that? Yeah, but but I have to head out. Anyway, I actually need to go, right? Instead of simply saying I need to go, anyway, I actually need to go in passing. Okay, you state it in passing. All right. Ending a more formal conversation that is at work. Okay, so I'll call the distributors while you prepare the contract and we'll touch base next week. Sounds like a plan. Great, have a good afternoon. Thanks to you. Bye too. You too. Bye. Bye. So here you're not really saying that you're going away or you're leaving, that you're heading out or you're running away or running out. You're doing none of those things. You're simply making plans for a future date. You're making plans for a future date to meet later on with whatever you've worked on so far. So people get the hint that you're about to leave, that you're about to head home, right? You can end a conversation at work by giving a summary of the conversation or the next actions to take. This gives the other person a signal that you would like to end the conversation. Anyway, I should get back to work. Yeah, me too. See you later. So when two colleagues or two friends are meeting in a corridor, you could say hi, hello, how are you? And, you know, maybe talk to one or two things. And yes, duty calls, you can simply say, yeah, catch you later, bye. That should be enough, right? You have been polite by initiating conversation. You've been polite in contributing to the conversation. And you do remain polite by ending a conversation amicably. Okay? I should be get I should get back to work is a good way to end a conversation with a coworker that is not related to work. For example, if you're chatting with a colleague about weekend plans or other interests, well, I know you're busy, so I don't want to keep you. That's okay, nice talking to you. So if someone else is working and you're free and you've called that person or that person has called you and you've been talking about something, you can end by saying that, oh yes, you must be busy now. Why can't we catch up later? Maybe we can talk later. Yeah, that's one way of saying goodbye. Thank you. So this also signals that the conversation is coming to an end. It is often used during phone calls. Different ways to say goodbye in English, formal or informal. Bye, bye bye, see you soon, see you later, take care, have a good one, have a nice day. So long. Okay, no one, I don't think, I have not heard many people use have a good one or so long that often. So long, well, people used to make use of that phrase often enough, but I don't know. I don't remember having heard it in anywhere except for movies in the last couple of years. Informal only. Take it easy. Catch you later. Catch you later. Later. I'm off. I'm out. Peace. Peace out. Well, peace. Peace out. It does not really fit with our culture, but yes, saying goodbye is enough. Thank you. So I've got another list, a very short list again, but it actually was interesting enough, so I felt I had to include it. So these are some of the conversation enders, like so sentences, dialogues you could use when you are in a fix and you don't know how to come off it. I mean, it could be over a phone or at a party or at a workplace. There are times when you really want to leave the conversation and you're unable to do so because you don't want to come off as rude, right? So on the phone, if someone keeps on talking and you just don't know how to finish it, you could simply say, I've got another call in a couple of minutes. Just be honest about it. Once again, I wouldn't expect any of you to lie. Okay. So if you have another call coming, please do tell. Don't think it is rude to tell that you've got another call to take. Okay. Sometimes it happens. I mean, it happens with me all the time. But it's better to tell the other person that you have got another person waiting on call. Okay. I've got another call in a couple of minutes. Thanks so much for speaking with me, and I'll talk to you soon again. My battery is pretty low, so I'm going to hop off. Have an amazing day. Again, this is one of those times when our phone is dying and the conversation doesn't seem to be coming to a close at all. So it's better to be honest and to simply say that your phone's battery is pretty low and you need to go. And again, third, it sounds like we have covered everything we needed to, so I'll let you go. Again, one of the simple and um, something that does not really share anything much, a wonderful way of saying you need to go. You could simply say that we have discussed everything that was need to be discussed, needed to be discussed, and yes, you're ready to go. Can't believe it's already whatever time you're talking about, maybe 5 or 6 or whatever time. I'm sure you've got lots of things going on your agenda, so I'll let you go get to them. So, no, at a networking event, when you are at some place, some point, at a working event, you could say, please excuse me, I'm going to make a quick restroom trip. It was lovely to meet you. One wonderful way of saying that you need to go. I've got to go to the restroom. Again, I've had such a nice time talking to you, and I'll definitely connect with you on LinkedIn so I can keep up with all of your cool ventures. Okay, you don't really have to go and elaborate at all, but whatever platform you've been following that person on, or some way to connect that person with, yeah, you could talk about it and you could simply say goodbye and leave. In the meantime, I'm going to go eat something or meet someone or do something, right? I'm sorry to leave you so quickly, but it's been a pleasure, and I hope we can reconnect soon. Do you have a business card? Now, this is one fun way of saying goodbye. Offering your own business card would indicate that you are prepared to go, or asking for someone else's business card would also indicate that you are done with the conversation and need to move on. I am going to mingle a bit more, but before I can go, can I introduce to someone? Well, this is one of the best ways of ending a conversation so that you don't leave that person alone. So if it's a party, it's better you acquaint if, and that person is not familiar with anyone or needs introduction. Be the good person, good guy who goes around and makes that person know, introduces that person to people you already know, so that when you leave, when you end the conversation and leave, that person won't be alone, won't be left alone. In the office, I've got to head back to my desk and work on so and so. Let's catch up at happy hour. Yeah, as in, why not meet at break time later? I mean, you don't really have to go and give the word, but just an indication, or maybe at some other point we can meet. I know you've got a crazy schedule, so I'll let you get back to it. So you can reinforce the importance of that person's schedule and remove yourself. I'd love to hear about your work or whatever, your current initiative, when we've got more time. So let's plan lunch. So right now you're busy and you can't really afford any time to talk to that person anymore. So you are saying that yes, I'm interested, but still I've got no time. Let's meet some point when we both are free. There are a couple emails I have to send before time, so I'm going to have to excuse myself. You could simply excuse saying that yes, I've got something to do before I leave for home. So I really should excuse myself. I hate to do it, but I've got to go. Thank you so much. Be cheerful about it, and no one is going to mind your leaving. All right? Again, at the end of a meeting, you could say, looks like we've hit everything on the agenda. The same thing as we discussed earlier. We've discussed everything. So, yes, we can move on. There's another meeting in this conference room right after us. So, we should probably clear out and let the next guys in. Or something to that nature, as in, if we have been sitting in the canteen for too long and you feel that yes, we have spoken enough, we've had enough of conversation for the day, you could simply say, hey, come on, there will be so many people waiting to take our seats, let's move on. Yeah, great to see we finished 15 minutes early, going to knock out some quick emails. So you could simply say when you are at a meeting, wow, we finished early, why not go and do something productive, right? So everyone will be reminded that yes, they could make use of the time that they have saved by finishing the meeting fast, right? There is no point in dragging work. Work will be there no matter how long you take to do it. So better finish up fast and leave. Again, are you walking back to your desk? I'll walk with you. So you could simply, like, the two people meeting at an aisle could simply talk at some point, and afterwards you want to indicate that you need to end the conversation. You could say, if you're going back to your desk, let me come walk you back to your desk. um, Thanks everyone for a productive meeting. You can send around our notes later this afternoon. Another fine way of saying goodbye without using the words literally. On a video call, you could say, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I look for your email, notes, report, follow ups, or whatever it is. Your ideas sound really promising. Can't wait to see them in action. In the meantime, you've probably got a lot on your plate, so I'll let you get back to work. See, all these are wonderful examples. There's no point in me reading them out to you. I hope this is clear for you, clear enough. The fonts are clear enough for you. Wow, I can't believe it's already time. Do you mind if I hang up and finish up my to-do list? Yeah, not really to-do list, just about anything. We're all busy people, and it's better to keep our conversations short. And when it does seem to feel like it's dragging, you better speak up and very politely say that you've got things to do and say goodbye. Thank you so much. Yeah, I forgot to mention. Um, the same could go for anything at workplace, at a meeting, when you're speaking on stage, and just about anywhere. The plain and simple rule is to remember to be polite and cheerful. Okay, and honest, of course. Honesty, as I said, is the best policy, right? So don't fake it, never fake it. Always try to be honest about what next you're going to do, so that, or if you don't want to reveal all the information about you, it's okay to be vague. Being vague is better than being dishonest, being lying through your teeth. Okay, this is all for today. Hopefully, we'll start literary criticism, Coleridge from tomorrow. Inshallah. Thank you. Stay safe. Assalamu alaikum.